everyone, and welcome to QuickScope Podcast, brought to you by Higher Passion Entertainment. We're your hosts, Kiros, Boots, and Serge, and we're here to talk about our passion, video games. So before we get into the new consoles, I want to just go over the new seasons, new games, and then we're gonna do the bulk of our podcast on the new consoles that have just released this week. So before we get into that, I want to touch on the new seasons, especially Apex. So Apex has both a new map and a new character, and I'm gonna actually hand this over to Boots, our Apex pro over here. What do you think? What do you think so far? The map and the character.
So the map, dude, it's a crazy map. I love it. Uh, I know I've seen a lot of people complain about it, how big it is, how many third, fourth, fifth, sixth parties you get. You get a lot more than any other map for sure. But just the layout, how it is, it's beautiful, man. The colors on it, they really did a good job for working on this during the pandemic. Obviously, it's a great map. It's definitely a game changer compared to the other maps. So I'm kind of excited once you do like a main tournament, see the pros playing it, and then like the new character Horizon. She's a game changer, definitely. Like right now, I feel like she's a top 2 or 3 character. I want to say in the map, just because her positioning of how she could position herself and her teammates, it's insane. You might have the higher level, you're in a third story, whatever. You think you have the best position out of nowhere. She's right there next to you guys, and then she wipes out the whole squad. Like it's insane, man. Like I've seen so many good footage, gameplay with her already, and I've tried to use her. It's been really hard, but dude, she's awesome though.
Yeah, I've been watching some streamers get like some major high kill games with her, and obviously if you're like really good mechanically, you can take advantage of the high ground with her. Her ult, which is like, I don't know if you're familiar with Overwatch, like a Zarya Graviton, like it just pulls everything into one. I mean, that's just throw a couple grenades in there and you can wipe a squad. Yeah, that looks insane. I'm definitely looking forward to any new tournaments coming up because I feel like we're going to see a lot of her maybe taking the position of Pathfinders.
I think
I've seen a lot of because I've seen a lot of Pathfinders being used to get that high ground, and I think she can be taking that spot soon.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Are you thinking of doing any tournament soon?
No, I'm not that good at all, dude. I mean, I've been doing rank and I've gotten to platinum so far. And
that's good though.
Dude, I made it to platinum though, but like, dude, after making it to platinum, dude, these guys are so much better than me, man. Like, maybe it's just the squad I'm in.
Yeah.
But nah, it's been rough in platinum right now.
Yeah.
I feel like in competitive, when you get to a point like that where you're stuck, yeah, definitely it sucks sometimes. But it is a squad if they're not playing up to their caliber. That happened with me on Overwatch as well. You're just kind of stuck at a plateau, or just you can't get over. But yeah, the Apex looks amazing. I was telling Boots that I tried it on my Xbox just to see the difference of the graphics, and the colors are amazing. Yeah. Apex has always had
on the new Xbox, right?
Yeah, the new Xbox. Yeah. I just wanted to see it because Apex is always, their graphics have always been great. Their colors are always just the main key to their game. It feels like it's immersive. So I jumped on there and it looks amazing. It's pretty cool.
I think it's interesting that Apex was a launch title for Xbox, but Fortnite wasn't. Fortnite still hasn't gotten their update ready for the new next gen. Yeah. I was reading about it that they're still like they're a week behind. Like, oh, we're gonna come out next week for the new consoles, so they weren't ready in time.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, but all the kids weren't going to be able to get the Xbox or something. It's too hard to
get. They're timing it perfectly. They don't want to launch with everyone else. But yeah, it's cool that Apex Legends is like they've been on top of it with that. And the new map, like definitely if you haven't played Apex Legends yet, I'd recommend getting in now, just because it's a fresh map. I mean, people are already getting used to it, but at the same time, there's not as many people that understand where to go, and it's a fresh start. Especially with a new character. Every time a new character is introduced to any game, it switches up the meta, changes up gameplay. tremendously, and
Yeah.
character like Horizon definitely changing up gameplay. I'm seeing a lot of more aggressive play rather than camping.
Yeah.
With her, so yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty fun. Definitely.
Yeah,
should
you
get
really
into all
gotta
that.
admire. You really gotta admire Apex for what they do because it feels like they know they're not going to be that top game, and they're not pushing for it, but they just know their niche and they know their market, and they really thrive in it. It just feels like they're always just doing the right things. So,
Right, and you
they,
just think about it too. Like they're producing a lot of content. Like
yeah, they don't
you know
stop.
what I mean? Like it's nonstop
Yeah,
top content stuff like
yeah,
that. I still know I think we're still releasing about like 7, 8 more new characters. So you
yeah.
can only imagine. We should expect another map in the near future for
Yeah.
sure. So it's awesome
Yeah,
for
not
sure.
to mention vehicles, right? They introduced
Oh, forgot
vehicles,
about that. Yes.
so they
Um,
have cars. Or you want to talk about
you
that?
you'd never see me on a car. Dude, you'll get. I've seen it. I've done it to other
Correct.
teams. Like you get wrecked easily because you shoot when you shoot the car, everybody in the car takes damage. So if
Yeah.
you like if everybody has a Spitfire or a sniper and they all hit the car at the same time, like the car's gonna go. Everybody's gonna die.
Yeah.
You know. So I
Yeah.
would never take it.
It's always interesting when you see vehicles join a game because I remember playing Warzone and like I don't like getting into cars in Warzone either, just
Yeah.
because I'm
Right.
gonna get C4'd. I just know it. I feel it.
Well,
I'm just nervous, or in a helicopter. I'm
they
just
moved the
nervous the whole
range
time.
recently with C4, so it's a lot less likely now.
Yeah, but even then, like getting in a helicopter, like everyone knows where I am now.
Yeah,
Um,
the little marker where it tells you where people are in the vehicles really balances it out. It's
yeah,
like a
that's true.
risk reward thing.
Yeah, but I mean, you see, like professional players, they take advantage of vehicles, even in Apex.
Yeah,
Like the people that are getting the high kill games are getting because they're rotating with vehicles
yeah.
and they're using them wisely, and yeah, it's
Use them
insane.
just to move quick, get out of them, and don't stay on them too much. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that was interesting seeing that. It almost reminds me of the what was that car? The Ghost in Halo.
Hmm.
That's the that's what the new vehicle in Apex reminds me of. It's really cool, and maybe we'll see other vehicles show up. I don't know, maybe like
Yeah,
a Halo Banshee or something.
that'd be.
Yeah, it would be a whole different game at that point. It is in the Titanfall universe, though, right?
I believe so, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, like the
it's
Yeah.
like
storyline.
yeah,
Yeah, so who knows? Maybe at some point you might see like a Titan or two drop on the map.
yeah, that'd be
That'd be
cool.
pretty cool.
Yeah, kind of like I think Warzone does that with the Juggernaut.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
like map objectives.
mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be interesting. But yeah, like you were saying, Apex, they've been fresh with the content
Oh
and I
yeah.
feel and they've been good about spreading out new features. So yeah, it's been really cool. Another game that has had a new character come up is Rogue Company. So I know I was talking a lot about it. The new character finally, Rogue Company gets another sniper.
Yeah,
Uh, and I've seen a lot of people online complaining that uh, the fixer, that's his name, is OP.
yeah, he looks.
It's too good. And I mean, they introduced a rank mode too, and I have yet to meet a bad fixer in ranked mode. They're always I'm just getting headshot left and right
Yeah,
by these guys. It gave them thermal vision, so they can see through smokes. That's his ult.
yeah,
So he can automatically see where people are and just start knocking them out. Yeah,
and
and
he has the triple smoke, the cluster smoke, right?
yeah, and yeah, he has the cluster smoke, and he has the thermal vision, and he has one of the strongest pistols in the game.
So
It's a
that's just like an aimbotter
yeah,
that
a
is just a
semi-automatic
smoke.
pistol.
Really just threw aimbot in there. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean I think 2-3 days ago we got our first player to get the level of Rogue, which is the highest level you can get
Mhm.
in Rogue Company right now in ranked. So I'm still grinding. I'm still at bronze. I'm at bronze 2, and I mean I don't play competitive that often, and I don't know if it's the same for Apex. I don't really play competitive mode in Apex, like ranked mode. But in Rogue Company, if you're not playing with a squad, it's really rough. Is it similar in Apex? Like, or can you rank up playing like solo squads?
I've heard from other people that you can. You can for the lower ranks, but once you start getting to like platinum, diamond, masters, you need a team for sure. Other people already have teams and they're pushing together and stuff like that. So you definitely need a team.
Yeah, it's the same in Rogue Company. How does the ranking system work in Apex? Do you know, like, do you win a certain amount of SR depending on where you place?
Yeah, so I know like the lower ranks you get like pretty high XP for like placing top 10. I think top 10 is when you start building points for like rank kills. You get each one is different, but I know you get like 5 points per kill, up to 5 kills. So 25 points for 5 kills. You don't get nothing above that. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Rogue Company is super weird how they're doing it because their rank is it doesn't take into consideration your stats at all. It's if you win the match, you get 24 points, and for every match you lose, you get -6 points. So technically, as long as you win 1 in 4 games, you'll keep ranking up no matter what. But at that rate, it's like, are the people that are ranked higher actually good gamers, or are they just like playing over and over and over again until they get a high rank? So it's kind of the weird question there, and I think they really need to implement stats into their competitive, because otherwise you just see people get carried, right? Like you're not going to get punished for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know how CS:GO does it. I think they do by stats also, and like Valorant competitive. So I think Rogue Company needs to get with it there. Again, they're still a brand new game. They're just trying out competitive, and you see their Twitter posts all the time with them asking for feedback from players. So we'll see where it goes from here. But definitely, that's another good game, another free game. New character. They just had the Doctor Disrespect map, which is really dope. And I've been getting some of my homies to start playing it. And it's just a fun game. It's not as sweaty as like Valorant or CS:GO, but at the same time, you get pretty good games in there, pretty good matches.
Yeah, it being free is definitely a big sell too. So it's easy to get people to at least try it. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So up next, we're gonna talk about new games. So to start off with, I wanted to talk about SpiderMan. So SpiderMan Miles Morales. Obviously, it's a big launch title for PlayStation. And if you look at these playthroughs online, they've just been so good. Like literally, I just have them streaming in the background because it looks so nice. And we've already talked about it extensively, so I don't want to get too much into it. But both that game and Assassin's Creed,
Yeah.
you can see. So they both came out on the old generation and the new generation.
Right.
And you can clearly see a difference.
Yeah.
Like it's insane. Like how much better the next consoles are compared to the old ones. And it's like honestly like seeing the like PS5 and the Xbox Series X gameplay and then going back to my PS4, I'm like, damn, like I think I need to get this new console, but
Yeah.
I don't know, man. What do you guys think? Like, is the graphics worth it for a new console?
I mean, it is worth it, definitely.
Yeah.
It's definitely not to the level of I think I was saying last time was the 360 to Xbox One was a big game changer because there was no backwards compatibility. I think there was only like maybe 8 to 10 games that were out for the Xbox One, so it was really hard to. You had to like have everybody on Xbox One or still be on 360 with some of your friends. But now you really don't have to upgrade. It's not a necessity to upgrade right away. And the graphics, yeah, it's worth it. But it depends if you're playing those games. Like me myself playing Warzone, you can tell the difference, but it's not something where like, oh, if I'm on the Xbox One, I wouldn't have a problem playing an Xbox One. But if you're playing like Valhalla or Spider-Man, you can definitely tell a difference.
Yeah.
I bought Assassin's Creed just because I got my new Xbox, so I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to try it. So, it just depends, I guess. You don't have to upgrade right away, but it definitely is worth it, I would say.
Yeah. Have you played through Assassin's Creed yet?
No, I'm downloading that and Cold War right now.
War, okay.
Earlier I was
Cold War.
So and because I was downloading the last few days all my 700 gigabytes worth of stuff, so it just so I bought them last night, so I've been downloading today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, you said it on the point too, because I remember getting Grand Theft Auto 5, 5, 6, 5, 5, the 360, and then jumping onto Xbox One. Dude, it was a huge difference.
Yeah.
I can only imagine. There's only so much. It's hard because I know they're trying to put so much stuff into the Xbox. Obviously, trying to make it to a PC. It will never get to that level, unfortunately. But I've seen some gameplay and it looks nice. I've seen gameplay of Apex. The colors look a lot brighter, a lot better than the current Xbox. But it's hard already because the graphics on the Xbox are, I want to say, they're pretty good. So, but I give it a year until you're gonna start seeing more of that, like those better graphics actually come into play. Since right now they're making games for both generations, so I think there's still like a step back. But eventually, when they start just making games for like the Series X and PlayStation 5 alone, I think that's when we're gonna see a big step on the graphics and stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, for the PS4, I waited I think 2 years before I got a PS4 to go from Xbox 360 to PS4, and just because the same thing, like the games that I would have played were still on the older consoles, and like in both these games, like I want to play SpiderMan. It's being
Yeah.
released for the PS4. I don't need to get it on PS5.
Right.
And since I'm getting a digital version, once I do get a PS5, I can replay it a year or two later on
Correct.
the PS5. So there's that's kind of making me hesitant. And I always remember with the Xbox 360 that like the first couple months that people bought them, they were like getting all kinds of issues and stuff like that, and I always waited for that too. So I'm always like a little hesitant to buy the newer consoles right away. And then I've been seeing memes about it too. People like, oh yeah, I'm a real gamer. I don't buy the consoles right away. I wait. So
Yeah.
I understand. But at the same time, like with where our technology is right now, I don't think there's a problem with buying the new consoles right away. Like,
Yeah.
sure, they're gonna come out
Right.
with different iterations later. Like the PS4 that I have is the PS4 Pro, and it's the Destiny version, and it's just yeah, it's just different, and they come in like all shapes and sizes now. So and I'm sure they're gonna be doing the same thing with the next gen.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we'll see where they go. And there's a bunch of new games being released on both right now. Are there any? I don't think there's any exclusives to the next gen, right?
Not that I've seen yet.
Mm-hmm.
But back what you were saying, like I think the reason people, I guess, are more paranoid for buying it early definitely goes back to the PS3 and 360 problems.
Oh yeah.
The red ring of death.
Yeah,
Back to that stuff. That stuff doesn't really happen anymore. Yeah, the consoles have issues, but they do a lot more extensive research now. I
yeah.
think
Yeah.
leading up to things. So as much as it was back then a little bit of a worry to get a new console, nowadays it's very rarely you find issues like that, I
Yeah.
guess.
I just have PTSD over that Red Ring, man.
Yeah, yeah, everyone does. I think I think that's what everyone has. I probably bought 3 or 4 Xboxes back then, and it was horrible. So
Yeah,
yeah, I think everyone has PTSD from that. So that's why people still are a little worrisome. But
Right.
I haven't seen major issues from consoles, at least the last 2 generations.
that's true. I don't think there's anything in the this recent generation, anything major. But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, for PlayStation, I know for PS Plus. So if you guys don't know,
Mhm.
PS Plus is what you pay for to be able to play games online, and it's
Yeah.
like $60 a year. And with that, you get 3 free games every month, or sometimes it's 2 free
Right.
games every month.
Mhm.
Um, Moving forward with the new PS5 launch, you actually get 3 free PS4 games and 1 free PS5 game every month.
Interesting.
And a lot of the PS4 games you can play on PS5, but it's like a PS5 like indie exclusive that you're gonna get every month.
Okay.
So I think that's kind of their way to like push back on
Game
a lot of the
Pass.
like yeah, a lot of the Game Pass stuff that you've been
Yeah.
hearing. And there's been people have been talking. There's always rumors, right? But that there's like integrating different gaming streaming services that you might be able to play games on PlayStation. Especially with Amazon games. I think Crucible they shut down because it didn't do well.
Mhm.
There's like people are talking about PlayStation like making a deal with Amazon to get like Amazon games on the PS Plus.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. So we'll see if anything comes there. But I mean the real cool part about PS Plus, and I download the games every month, all the free games, because they stay in my library in their mind at all times. Versus Game Pass, where you're kind of left to whatever they decide is going to
Yeah.
be in rotation. But even then, I mean, there's literally, I think there's like 1,000 games at launch with Xbox right now,
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was looking at how many games there is, and even them adding EA was major. Like you
Oh
don't
yeah,
Oh, that's huge,
you don't
man.
see
yeah,
it until you see how many games you get.
Oh my God.
It's insane. It's insane. Like you go through that and you're like, wow, I want to play that. Like Star Wars, I think Fallen Order, you
Right.
can get all the Maddens. You can play the old school Maddens. You can play the old school
Titanfall 2 that just came up.
Titanfall. Yeah, Skate. There's a bunch of games, and I think Xbox really hit it out of the ballpark with the Ultimate Game Pass.
yeah,
I think you get gold, you get access to all the games, and it's literally it's a big selling point for them. I think a lot of people are really not switching to Xbox, but they're definitely getting more momentum towards their platform.
yeah.
I think that's good.
I think if you're getting the new generation Xbox, either the S or the X, I think Game Pass is almost like a must
Yeah,
have,
you have to.
right?
Mhm.
Like you have to have
Right.
that. And I know especially with the Series S, like people are always complaining about storage, and I know that one is like a purely digital one. And then they have the additional storage that you can buy for like $200. That's more than half the price of the actual Xbox.
Yeah, it's a ripoff.
Yeah, I mean, might as well go for the X at that point. But I think what that
Right.
does is give you the option to just get the Xbox right now, get the Series S, get the Game Pass, and then just work off that. Because I mean, you have a Game Pass library, right? So all the games
Right.
that you've like favorited or like kept in rotation, you can just delete one game if you want another like bigger game to have on the console, and just play through them. Because so you have all of them readily available regardless.
Yeah, it
Um,
makes for an easier transition, I think.
yeah.
Definitely to the new generation.
Yeah, and so I think that's really cool. I mean, I've been seeing people like playing two games at the same time, right? And like switching between them.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
dope.
have you tried that yet?
No, I
Because
haven't.
that
I
looked
haven't.
really dope. Because I saw some dude, he was like playing like Minecraft or something,
Yeah.
and then he like paused it, and then like he switched over to Call of Duty,
Yeah.
and then he was playing Call of Duty, and the match ended, and he just quick switched back to Minecraft, and it was
Dude,
like
that's
paused
smart.
at the same position he had left
That's
it.
that's kind of what I do with mine. Like I usually have my PC playing like some Minecraft, or I'll be playing Among Us or something, and then I'll be playing COD. And then meanwhile, in between games, that's what I do. That's what. Yeah, but that's pretty cool. I'm gonna have to try that on there. The fact that you can actually, it kind of bridges that gap to a PC, right? Because I mean, PC you can
Yeah,
technically play two games at a time.
yeah, you can do that.
So it's pretty cool, man. They're coming up with a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, and especially on PC, you see that happen a lot with like higher ranked people in any game really that have to wait like 10, 15 minutes for a
Yeah,
match to start. They'll like jump onto another game for that time.
yeah,
So especially if you're streaming, there's no like dead space,
yeah.
dead
You
room.
can take a break. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So you can actually like keep your content up, and so that's
Right.
really cool. Seeing that on Xbox, that was awesome. And I know one of the big selling points for the PlayStation was their controller,
yeah,
and what they call it, like optic handling or something like that. It's just really insane, like the depth that they're making like the vibrations and stuff feel in your controller in
Right.
your hands. I'm not sure if Xbox had a similar thing. I hadn't seen any.
I don't think
But I
so.
mean, you'd be able to
Mhm.
tell me no. But even then, I mean, the PS4 had a lot of that, and it was never really used. I
yeah,
think I played more indie games that really used like the light switching on the PS4, and the PS4 has its own speaker. So there are very
Right.
few games that I actually think the speaker actually did stuff within the game. Like I played Transistor, where like the whole point of it is that you have like this sword, this weapon, and the weapon talks to you. It's like an AI. and then but your controller will talk to you while something's happening in the game to give you advice and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And
Right.
literally, I think that was like one of 3 games in all of PS4, and I play a lot of indie games that actually took advantage of that. So I feel like that's not really a good selling point for me for the PS5,
Yeah.
the controller. It's like, sure, I mean, make the controller
Yeah.
playable, make it comfortable, but I mean, adding all that stuff into the controller isn't gonna make the content any better unless the games are actually taking advantage of it.
Mhm.
And for now, I don't think they will be.
Yeah.
I mean,
Eh,
I know they talked about the Call of Duty. I just read a post
Oh,
that
really?
each gun is gonna vibrate. I think I just saw vibrate differently every time you shoot it.
I'm
So
gonna need that.
I know the emphasis is going to be to work on that because I know I saw articles on that they're going to work on it. I
Yeah,
just don't know to what extent though.
yeah. But how many like players that play competitively are just gonna turn that off? It's gonna mess with your
Yeah.
game,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, at the end of the day, if you're playing competitively and you're playing serious, you're gonna end up with the SCUF controller, or you're gonna end up with the
Right.
yep.
Xbox has the early control.
Yeah.
We don't really find many professional or very, I guess you can say, serious players that are playing with the normal Xbox or PS controller. So at the end of the day, that sound like you said, that selling point, yeah, for some it might be, but it really
Mhm.
doesn't matter in the end. It's like if you're gonna get a better controller, you're just gonna go spend $200 to buy SCUF control.
Yeah, that's true. That makes yeah. Um, it was funny. I was seeing memes for the Xbox of. I'm sure you guys saw them too, because I first saw it and with the Xbox that had the smoke coming out of it,
Yeah,
and
Right.
I first saw it. I was like, oh no,
Here
like
we go.
yeah,
it's the
yeah,
red ring again, right? It's
yeah.
all over again. Like the Xboxes are on fire. I was like, what the hell is happening here? But apparently, people were blowing vape smoke into
Yeah,
their Xboxes.
yeah.
Um, I don't. Why would you do that to a new console?
Uh,
It's
I
like
mean, it was
it's clickbait.
I
It's
knew,
clickbait.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's clickbait. Yeah, I knew it was fake, but because you can tell this smoke doesn't look like that. Smoke is not thick like that.
Correct.
If you
Hmm.
smoked, if you vaped before, that you can tell that was literally a vape. But yeah, it's like you said, it's clickbait. People are just trying to make Xbox look bad because that's gonna get people to like it and retweet it on social
Yeah.
media. So, but why exactly? You say, why would you do that? Who knows what's gonna happen? You just spent
Yeah.
$5 just to
Just to do that.
post.
No.
Yeah, yeah,
And I'm sure it's yeah, like you said, for clickbait and stuff. But it was funny seeing Xbox actually have to come out with an official statement that says, "People, please don't blow smoke into your Xbox. It's gonna mess
yeah.
with the stuff
Yeah.
inside,
I
especially
mean,
vape, because vape is like it's vaporized.
yeah,
It could like actually put liquid into your game into your console. It'll
mm,
mess it up.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think
I
people
mean,
get that.
and I think they know the fact that social media has um, a lot of influence. So if they see one person doing it, they're gonna do it, and it's gonna just be a chain that people just keep on doing it. So if they didn't refute it there, it was gonna keep coming out, and then they're gonna have to deal with all these problems.
Yeah. Yeah, I first saw it and I thought it was maybe like a one-off Xbox. Like, oh, maybe it's just like a freak accident and it's like catching fire. But then I started seeing people are actually doing that. I was like, oh, it's so dumb.
No, once you see the Xbox, if you ever see it in person, it
Uh,
feels amazing. Like it almost it feels like a PC. It does feel like a PC. It feels like they're kind of the fan is insane.
yeah,
It's quiet. It's super quiet. And it feels like a PC. It's heavy, but you can tell it has they put some work into it. I'm not saying that PS looks ugly, but PlayStation is still looking like a console that stick is binder looking
yeah,
stuff. So I mean, Xbox definitely changed it with the look, but it once you see it, it literally looks like there's not gonna have any issues. Yeah, obviously there's gonna be issues, but they look like they did a good job on design. So
yeah.
I'd be
That's true.
surprised to see many issues.
Yeah, you got the Series X, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was gonna ask you. So I saw this. I mean, on the same thing with memes. Someone grabbed like a ping pong ball and put it above the fan to show the power of the fan,
yeah.
and the ping pong ball like stays floating above the fan.
Dang.
So
No, I didn't.
I saw that and I was like, I want to see if it's true. So if you get a chance,
Get it right.
try it. But I mean that really goes to show you how consistent the fan is on that thing.
Yeah, no, it's amazing, and they put it out there. It's curved and it looks amazing. I thought it was gonna look a little ugly, but it's pretty cool. It's probably my favorite looking Xbox for sure, console or Xbox console they come out with.
Yeah, his new standing up too. And I mean these things are sold out everywhere. Both of them,
Yeah,
PS5 and
it's
the Xbox. I've
crazy.
been seeing all my friends like posting online. Um, one homie legit he lives in Canada, so he had ordered his PlayStation for $750, and they had canceled his order. So he went online to like buy one off of someone that had one. Because
Mhm.
he's also a content creator, so he wanted to create content real quick. Um, he paid $1,500 to get a PS5 today.
Wow.
Yeah, that I mean the fact that people are spending that much money to like get their hands on it on the first day is crazy, right? Like I'm not tripping here,
Yeah,
right?
it's yeah, no, that's crazy. Like I was surprised at how many people didn't have it. I don't know if they didn't make enough, maybe due to the pandemic, maybe not enough people in their, wherever they're making them. Um, but it was surprising at how many people did not get the pre-order. And the fact that I saw Chad Johnson and a few other people, a lot of celebrities were buying them
Right.
off of people on Twitter. They're like posting on people's posts about buying it, and it's kind of crazy how many people are trying to get it.
That's insane. How did you get yours so quick?
My friend ended up. I had already decided that I wasn't going to get it. Probably a month, 2 months away. Wait on him, and my friend ended up saying he had an extra one in his cart, so I ended up taking it over, and yeah, so I have to thank
That
him
works.
for sure. Yeah, so I got lucky. He ended up getting three, one for my other friend and then himself. So
Nice.
we all ended up with X. So yeah, I was lucky. I didn't think it was be that big of a demand. I guess I at first obviously on the pre-order you saw it, but then I had thought maybe within the next few weeks they were going to start to add more pre-orders and people were going to be able to buy it. But it seemed like they didn't add too many on to pre-orders. It seemed like they
Yeah,
were
it
like
was
the
very
first
little.
batch and
Yeah.
then they didn't add any more. So I was really surprised about that.
Yeah, I was seeing Walmart was like running out real quick too. I had some buddies that created scripts just to like code to refresh their page and consistently so they can try and get them as soon as they're open. And there's like tips and tricks online too, articles on like what time to go onto Walmart.com to see if they've restocked their next gen consoles. And yeah,
And
it's been getting crazy.
and maybe it's due, I guess, to the pandemic and people are at home. Maybe a lot of people are at home when it was available for pre-order, available for release, so people are buying them more often. I guess now people were at work, 9, 10 in the morning on a Thursday, morning or a Tuesday morning. So people are at home, so I guess they have more opportunity to actually try to buy them. So maybe it could be due to that, but it's definitely very interesting. I guess
Yeah,
who
but
who
even
knows
with
how long?
pre-orders,
Yeah,
even pre-orders sold out really quickly. Like
yeah.
they
Oh,
maxed out.
They probably didn't make enough. That's probably what it was due to the pandemic too. So
That's
yeah,
true.
they're probably trying to keep it rolling out every so often and not as much as they had, I guess, wanted to at least.
Yeah. No, so we'll see. We'll see. I'm happy that you got one, and I
Yeah.
will live vicariously through you, and let me know how good that Xbox is,
I
and
need to get a
maybe I'll
better
get one
monitor.
in the future.
I need to get
You get a
I've been
what?
using this BenQ for uh I got it maybe 6, 7 years ago. So it's not a very great monitor. So I'm gonna have to get a better monitor so I can actually see the difference.
right.
On it because I don't play on my big TV. So um, I'm gonna
What
have
do
to
you
get a better
ship?
monitor. I I'm a competitive gamer, so I You never see competitive gamers play on big TVs because of the delay of the response time and
Right.
stuff like that. So I just kind of got used to the small screen, and I've been playing on that for I don't know 7, 8 years. It's been a while.
That makes sense. So that's all we have for the new consoles. It's pretty crazy, but definitely if you got the money and you got the time to try and find one, I'd say go for it. I don't like we were saying before. I don't think the next gen is gonna have issues, but definitely need to wait to see completely like next gen games come out. So
Yeah.
if that's what you're waiting for, then so be it. But if you really want like the games that you're currently playing and new games coming out right now and like really good quality, it's definitely next gen consoles where you need to go.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So in other news, I want to go into streaming a little bit. Twitch. We went over this on our previous podcast. Twitch apologizes in a blog post for mishandling their music copyrights. So I think at this point there had been 3 waves of music copyrights where they like send out notices saying, "Hey, you had music in your in your stream on this specific day. It's saved in this blog, and you need to go back and delete it." There were issues with people having to go back through like hours and hours of footage just to
Mhm.
delete the right ones. And not only that, there is an error on Twitch's part where even if you deleted it, they have their own repository of all saved blogs, and it would like parse through there whatever they were using to find the music that was copyrighted. And so even if you would delete your video, they still had it on their end, so you would still get a notice to delete.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
that's
Yeah.
annoying.
And then this last wave didn't even give you a warning. They just sent you a message saying, "Hey, we're deleting this video because it has music copyrights, and we'll just delete it." Like you didn't have a chance to
That's
like save
crazy.
it and do any
Wow.
stuff like that. Like that's literally hours and hours of content for some people that
Yeah.
are just lost. So they officially apologized, said they're gonna work on handling it properly moving forward, and they're gonna work with different copyright companies to ensure that they're doing it correctly. Because they're taking away content from one person to protect content of another, and so what do you guys
Yeah,
think? What do you guys think about the whole situation?
I don't know. I feel like that kind of sucks because I mean the difference between YouTube and Twitch is that YouTube content creators have that content on their PC already. A lot of Twitch creators, content creators use the Twitch VODs as kind of a media library, right? They don't really always download their streams because it'd be too long, 3, 4, 10-hour streams on their PC. So that is kind of like their media library. Unlike YouTube, where you have that, you have to have it on your PC most likely. So it kind of sucks for them to lose things where they just take it away. And I mean, the whole DMCA thing, it sucks. I get it, but it definitely puts a lot more stress onto them to have to check that every time. And if someone plays a video or some kind of music over a headset while they're in a chat, it could screw your whole video or your whole VOD. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It just sucks in general. The whole DMCA thing.
Boots, what do you think as a content creator yourself?
Just basically what he touched on, man. It's like you said, like taking out that videos that, especially that you don't save. So imagine
Yeah.
like if you have to go back the next day or a couple of days after and start recording, or getting like doing edits for to post or stuff like that, and that video is gone. I mean, that's a bummer for sure.
Yeah. Have you gotten hit with any of the warnings?
I don't know. I don't check my emails.
Yeah. No, dude, I got hit with one, and it was so dumb because I don't there. So I make a point that when I'm streaming Hearthstone, because I like playing the Hearthstone, the card game, and I
Mhm.
usually have music playing in the back. But the music that I have playing in the back are literally music that I've asked the artist. Usually they're just like friends of mine that make
Yeah.
music. I'm like, hey, is it okay if I use your music on my stream? And they're like, sure. So
Yeah.
I know I have the rights to use those. But so I don't play music in the background when I'm playing on my PlayStation, when I'm playing like Rogue Company
Right.
or Apex or Fortnite. But I got hit with this. I was like, that's really weird because I'm super careful about it.
Yeah.
And I go and like, this game you were playing Rogue Company on this day and on this time, um, there is music being played, so you need to delete this whole video or edit out that one part and put it back in. I was like, okay, so I go and look at it, and it was literally like a 5 second clip of a squad mate that like a random that had music playing like blasting in the background
Yeah.
as they joined, and they were playing that music. They joined and then they shut it off right away. And he was even like, "Oh my bad, I had music too loud." And that was it. That's
Yeah.
all it took for them to take down my video. I was like,
Yeah.
"That's insane. That's like not even like 5 seconds."
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't
Uh,
really realize it. You're not watching back like on YouTube. You're watching back a video. You're editing it. You're listening out for these things. And in Twitch, you're just you're just playing. You're not really
yeah,
thinking about that.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
That
So
sucks.
yeah, it's insane. So I think it's a step in the right direction that Twitch apologized for it.
Yeah.
But actions speak louder than words. I want to see what they're actually going to be doing about it, and or if we're just going to
Yeah.
be getting hit with a bunch of these warnings again in the future.
Yeah. And like I said, Twitch is like I've said before. Twitch has always been shady. They've always been shady. They've had a shady past. So
Yeah,
when they say they're doing good stuff, it's like you don't really have the
the
reputation to
track
back
record.
it up. Yeah, so it's like like you said, we'll see. I guess what they do and if they back it up or not.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens there. It definitely affected a lot of the big name streamers, especially.
Yeah.
But it seems like some big name streamers it didn't affect so much because it they've been setting max limitations on their donations.
Mm.
So I want to talk about. I think this started with Pokimane. So Pokimane set a max limit on donations, so people can't give her more than $5 at a time.
Right.
Her reasoning for it is, I mean, she did a whole thing about it, saying she's been blessed. She makes enough money, blah blah blah. It's like a humble brag, but she's like, yeah, I don't want people giving me more than $5 in donations now, and I think that's respectable. It's cool.
Yeah.
And then following Disguised Toast, who's big on Hearthstone. He's been doing really cool Among Us um, streams lately. He followed suit, and then so did PewDiePie. So they're basically saying, I think PewDiePie put it this way. He was saying that if he were like entertaining on the street and someone would give him $5, sure, that's cool. Like, thank you. But if someone would give him $200, I'm like, no, that's kind of weird. Like, don't give me the $200.
Yeah.
Like, that's too much. And he kind of sees it the same way as when he's streaming. So, what do you guys think about this? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think they're just trying to like a lot of people have been criticizing this, saying
Right.
that you're just trying to set a max just to like show that you're a good person and you might not actually be. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's a good thing. They can do
Yeah.
whatever the heck they want, right?
Yeah, I definitely think it's a good thing, and I mean, there's always gonna be haters. There's always gonna be haters for that.
It's true.
Um, but it's a good thing because then they're not forced to actually read it off if they're not able to. Because these big streamers, they can't see all these. It's impossible for them to see all the donations, how fast they come in.
It's true.
It's impossible. So if they miss something, I think I was reading that one of the reasoning was if they miss a donation of say $200, and they're gonna feel bad if someone donates $200 and they don't talk about it, but if it's all at a one price, they can't really feel bad. Or I mean, they're gonna feel less bad missing some because they're just too busy. It's impossible to read so many. And like I said, they make enough, so they're not forcing people. Much like Pokimane, there's probably a lot of simps for Pokimane, and they're always donating $1,000, $2,000 just to get her to read their thing. So
Yeah.
it kind of cuts that out, and it just makes everyone just feel more of a community and equal, I guess, and not have to have the money to go donate on someone's. Um, but then kind of it does suck because I guess Twitch was kind of founded on that, right? On donations, on big donations, like Mr. Beast was making donations of $10,000. So if everyone kind of does
yeah.
that's kind of the Twitch way, the big donation. It kind of shows appreciation for that person. So it does kind of suck. It's not just all all good. So it depends how you see it, I guess.
Right, exactly. I mean, I feel like you said it's so you're not missing the whole donations and stuff like that. I mean, $5. I mean, they weren't really, I guess you say, like miss,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But I think it's a good idea. I like it, especially because a lot of people like to spend a lot of money on these content creators and stuff like that. So I mean, just keep it limited on 5. Like I think they'll see. I feel like they'll see like increase of donations and stuff like that. But I mean, I think it's good.
Someone's just gonna donate $5 like 40 times or something.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna see that. But again, it kind of encourages people because then they see that $1,000 come through, and they're like, "Why should I donate it? That person just donated $5,000. What's my point of donating if they're not really going to care about it?" So it kind of cuts all that out, and maybe they will get more donations, but who knows? Like you said, if someone donates 50 times $5, like it's just going to be insanely. They're never going to see anything. So who knows?
Yeah, I think it's interesting because I mean, not too long ago, I think we talked about it on a podcast. Pokimane got hate for not returning back money that was donated to her.
Mm-hmm.
Where someone's like, "Oh, I accidentally donated like $200 to you. Like, can I have it back?" And she's like, no, figure it out with your bank."
Yeah,
And
yeah. I
then
mean,
turns around and does this. I mean,
yeah. I
this would
mean, but
avoid those
that's kind
types of
of
things.
I guess misleading because if you really if you ever really see what they have to go through to refund money, it's not a very good process.
Right.
They have to go through a big process, and then they have to contact a bunch of people. It's really just more annoying for them to have to return money. So imagine if a lot of people are doing that and they're asking for refunds. I've seen a lot of content creators that say that they don't issue refunds because of the work that goes into doing it. And if you do it by mistake, that's kind of your fault, at that point. So it kind of, I guess it depends on the person, but I know it's not just an easy process where they just click refund and it just goes through. So I guess it's kind of misleading that as well too. Yeah.
I wonder how many how many refund requests they actually get.
They probably get a lot because a lot of people probably miss donate. They're probably trying to throw $1,000 donation and they ask for the refund, and if they refund it every time, people are just going to be more inclined to kind of troll. So they probably get it a lot. So they probably say no refunds at all for everybody, which is why I was saying it's kind of misleading because it's really a lot of work for them when these people are they're busy a lot. They have to for 6 to 10 hours a day, 3-4 hours a day, whatever, and they still have to go do all these other things on top of that to keep their.
A lot of them have YouTube channels too, and they have to edit videos and And you know what? Doing this, setting max limits to their donations, might actually avoid that.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
There won't
Exactly.
be people asking for $5 back every time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and if you miss donate $5, you're just like, oh, whatever. That's my fault, right? I misdonated, so it kind of just it makes things easier, I guess, for them when they're busy anyway. So they get those $1,000, but it's in the end, it's not really going to hurt them that much, I guess.
Yep, that makes sense. All right. So going into other news, ESPN Esports is letting go of their news and editorial teams. So ESPN has stated that they are keeping their live events for esports. I know they've been broadcasting a lot, like the 2K events, and a lot. They actually did a couple of the Apex tournaments also. So ESPN, they're still doing those events. They're still broadcasting those, but they're like news articles and editorial teams they're just getting rid of them. What do you guys think this means? Like, why is this happening, and what does it mean for the future of esports?
I don't think it's the esports that's the problem. I think it's just the pandemic. I know ESPN let go of a lot of their sports writers as well, a lot of their producers, a lot of their. I know there was a producer that I think the Dan Lebartard show. He does one of the ESPN shows, and his producer got let go. And he wasn't aware of it. They didn't let him know. They just let him go, and he offered to pay his salary because they were just letting go a lot of people. So I think it's more of a pandemic thing. And I think they know esports are the future, and they have to put their hand into it, but they just can't invest too much right now at the moment where they have to make a choice. It's their sports or their esports, so they can't really invest too much into the esports. So it's like that. They're the first to go kind of thing, you know. So it kind of just it's gonna maybe delay the process of that just a little longer.
Right, and then I guess especially like you were touching on because the whole pandemic and stuff like that. Probably will be the first to go, and especially since the sports are basically coming back in a way. So back then, a couple months from like before, it was all esports because we didn't have any sports. So sports are coming back in. We got college football, basketball's going to start soon. Baseball just ended. We got football mid-season. So I mean that could be the reason why too.
Yeah, actually, that makes a lot of sense. Them like shifting their focus from esports back to regular sports.
Definitely.
They might have jumped the gun in getting a whole editorial team for
Yeah.
esports, and now they're realizing they have to let someone go because pandemic is going longer than expected and all these things. Yeah, so I mean, it sucks because I actually read a lot of those articles. I mean,
Yeah.
especially in preparation for this podcast, I would go to ESPN Esports and check some of that stuff out. Um, I'm happy that they're still going to be showing live events because those are always fun to watch. But seeing that the news and editorial teams are going sucks. But hopefully they'll be able to hire back. And like you said, Serge, there is not just esports letting go. They're letting go. I think it was 500 jobs.
Yeah, it was a lot.
200 or 300 of which were like open positions.
Mhm.
They're just not going to hire anyone for them, and then another like 200 or so they actually had to let go, and part of that was the esports teams. So yeah,
Yeah.
so we'll see where it goes in the future, but I think ESPN being the face of sports and then having the sports division is important for the game, for the
Yeah.
games, and for the gaming community.
And I think they're aware of that. They know that this is something that's going to stick around, and it's not just going to be a fad that's going to go away. Gaming is going to be around for as long as it's around. It's going to be around. A lot of the younger generation, they're all gamers. Like you really can't find a kid nowadays that doesn't play games. Back in the day, you would ask people, do you play games? Yeah, I play games every now and then. Nowadays, all kids play games. So it's a medium they're going to have to get media they're going to have to be into. It's just like I said, maybe they jumped, like you said, they jumped the gun. They weren't wrong for it because no one knew the pandemic was going to come around.
Yeah.
So it's just going to slow them down. I guess it'd be another year, I guess 2 years until they get back into it. Who knows?
Yep. Fingers crossed. I think there's a positive outlook still.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the last thing we have in news is Hex buying or rebuying Optic Gaming. Serge, I think you wanted to talk on this.
Yeah, and the reason I want to talk about it is because I guess if you're an OG, I guess esports, you watched a lot of esports back in the day. Call of Duty was the founding game. I guess you call it. For esports, that was the big esport back then. It was the only one that was really making any money. That really was a foundation for a lot of these games nowadays, a lot of esports that are nowadays. And Hex is kind of the father of that. He founded Optic, and he brought a lot of important figures that are in the game now. Nate Shot, the founder of 100 Thieves, Ryan Wyatt, who is the head of YouTube Gaming, Courage JD is a big name too, and they've always been a big name in Call of Duty. So he sold Optic last year because of a dispute, and it's his baby. And if you've ever watched his YouTube videos and Optic's YouTube videos, you can see the passion that he puts into it, and he's really been like probably the biggest figure in esports for history. So it was just a big thing, and I know a lot of people were super happy and congratulating him yesterday or 2 days ago. And it was a big thing for him to buy it back. So yeah, I just wanted to bring it up just because if anybody follows esports, they know that Hex is kind of the founding father of that. So it's pretty cool for him to get it back because he said he didn't know he was going to get it back, and I guess they weren't doing very well, so they ended up selling it back for less. So I guess he ended up coming up on some money for that.
Yeah, hopefully he can help it grow again.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, Optic Gaming has been a mainstay in not only Call of Duty, but like I know I've seen them in League and in
CS:GO
other
as
things.
well.
Yeah, CS:GO. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
so we'll see.
And that rivalry of Optic and FaZe, Optic and FaZe are the two biggest. That all goes back to Hex.
Iconic.
Hex and,
yep.
Yeah, it's iconic in esports. So that's all Hex. He's amazing. He's running NRG right now, so he's still going to be, I think, in NRG. As soon as he sold Optic, he ended up on NRG picking him up. So I don't know how that's going to work. I think he's running both. So I don't know how that's going to work, but he's amazing. If you ever check out his YouTube videos, they do this thing called Vision, and it's like a movie of every single tournament that they go to, and it's amazing. If you've ever watched it, Vision's amazing. So just, if you ever had a chance to look up his videos, he's a good vlogger and everything too. Kind of gives you that back end look of how an esports team is run.
Yeah, I'll definitely check him out. All right, so that wraps up our podcast for today. We're just gonna go into our recommendations for the week, and I don't know. Did any of you guys want to start off?
Yeah, I'll go. I'm gonna say Call of Duty Cold War comes out today. Well, we've been watching this for probably a few days, but the zombies looks amazing. I downloaded it, and I'm excited to play it. If you like zombies, it looks like they did a great job, so I'm excited to play it. So get it. I think you can get the version for both gens. For I think $69.99. I think they added $10 onto their price. But yeah, grab it today and give it a try.
Nice.
For me, since it is a new season, I will have to go with Apex. Just because of the new map is beautiful. You got a new character. And so I mean that's my recommendation. It's a good grind. It's a big map, so there's a lot of things you can see. The details they went into this map, it's amazing.
Yeah, definitely with Apex right now. I mentioned it before. It's a really good time to get into the game. It's at a really stable point. It's a good meta. It's really fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. My recommendation for the week is actually Hearthstone. So for those that don't know, Hearthstone is a card game. It's for free. It's on mobile and on PC. I'm recommending it specifically for a game mode that I like playing a lot, which is a Battlegrounds. It's an auto chess type game where you just rotate cards and it's like you build your cards, your monsters on the field, and you just play randomly against different people. Very similar to other auto chess type games that you've seen before. So I really like it. I think it's really fun, and they just released a new game mode in beta called Duels, where you pick cards, and as you progress, whenever you beat someone, you get to choose from new cards, and you just keep building your deck. And especially if you're a fan of like Yu-Gi-Oh, or even like Pokemon cards, like this is just another card game. It's really easy to play. It's really easy to figure out. And I think that's why they did really good. There's not like 1,000 life points and stuff like in Yu-Gi-Oh. It's like a set 40, and you play from there.
Yeah.
So I definitely recommend Hearthstone. It's a nice game to just kind of chill to. I'm usually playing and just like talking with friends and hanging out. So yeah, that one's really cool. My recommendation for the week for sure.
Nice. Yeah, I've always wanted to try it. I used to play a little bit of, I guess, say competitive Yu-Gi-Oh back in the day. So people used to always say, "Oh, play Hearthstone." So I'd never give it a chance. So that sounds pretty cool.
Try it out. It's fun and it's not. If you're playing competitively, sure, it's pay to win because you can buy decks just like in Yu-Gi-Oh. You buy decks and you get monsters and stuff. But I like playing the other game modes anyway more, just because there's no competitive edge like that, and it's really fun. So yeah, recommend it. All right, so again, we are QuickScope Podcast, and we're brought to you by Higher Passion. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow us on socials. At the end of this video, you'll see our personal socials, but there's also Higher Passion _ for our Instagram, and we post all our different podcasts there. Definitely check out Sports Talks and the new I think it's called Four Balls podcast, the baseball one. They're talking about the World Series and all those amazing games that happen in playoffs. So definitely check them out. And check out our new podcast. We have new podcasts coming up, new series. So keep an eye out for those. And let us know in the comments what you like, what you want us to talk about, and if you want anything else from us. But until then, thank you for joining us, and GG's.
GG's.